Today on r/AmIOverreacting, baby before ring drama, a brutal family dinner, a petty lunch meltdown, and one husband's sweet mistake. All right, first story.
He said he wants to have a baby with me. All of his friends are having babies, and he thinks my standards are unrealistic because I want a nice ring, wedding, and honeymoon first. Am I overreacting? I am 30, female, and he just turned 31. He says he loves me, but I honestly feel like a placeholder. Recently, he complained that all his female friends are having babies with their partners, even if their partners are not financially stable, and they're not in perfect places. He always talks about his one female friend from grad school who had a baby with her husband, who is deployed, and he doesn't even help out with the childcare because he's out of town. She's the breadwinner of the family too, because she makes way more than him. And she was the one who bought their home. Then he said to me that I should be open to having a baby with him because I have a house, I have flexibility at my job for pregnancy right now, and he finally has a full-time job. He does make more than me. I was like, what? These women are married to their partners. I do not want to just have a baby out of wedlock. When I pushed back, he said my standards are too high because I want an engagement ring, a real wedding, and a honeymoon. His excuse is that his rent is a lot, he is still making strides in his career, and he has a lot of student loans. I cannot shake the feeling that he just wants to settle with whoever is convenient. Am I overreacting for thinking about never talking to him again? Because the audacity alone makes me think he's a bad person.
Wanting to be married before having a kid isn't unrealistic. It's literally the most reasonable thing ever. He can't afford a ring or a wedding, but somehow a baby fits in the budget? Make it make sense. And using that friend as an example, the one doing everything on her own while her husband's away, so he looks at that and thinks, yeah, that's the dream. That's not romantic. That's irresponsible. The fact that he doesn't get that raising a child is a way bigger financial and emotional commitment than marriage, that's honestly alarming. If he can't handle saving for a wedding, what makes him think he's ready for diapers, daycare, and doctor bills? And calling you too high maintenance for wanting stability? No, that's not high standards. That's self-respect. He's not looking for love. He's looking for convenience. Honestly, you're not overreacting at all. If it were me, I'd be taking a long, hard look at that relationship, maybe even running in the opposite direction. Gently, of course. Sometimes protecting your peace means dodging a lifetime of frustration. Anyway, speaking of bad relationship dynamics, our next story takes us to a family dinner that goes from polite to painfully insulting.
Am I overreacting for leaving my girlfriend's family dinner after what her dad said? My girlfriend, 27 female, invited me, 28 male, to a family dinner to finally meet her parents. We've been together for almost a year, so I wanted to make a good impression. Dinner started out fine, until her dad started asking me about my job. I work in IT, and while it pays well, it's not some high-status career. After a few questions, he smirked and said, "So basically, you just sit behind a computer all day? Not exactly the kind of guy imagined for my daughter." Everyone kind of laughed awkwardly. I tried to brush it off with a joke, but then he added, "Maybe someday you'll get a real job so you can actually support a family." I felt my stomach drop. My girlfriend just said, "Dad," but didn't defend me beyond that. I quietly excused myself, said I wasn't feeling well, and left. Later that night, my girlfriend texted me saying I embarrassed her by walking out and that I should just let it go because her dad was only teasing. I honestly feel disrespected and don't think I overreacted, but now she's acting cold and says I owe her family an apology. Am I overreacting for leaving?
Man, that real job comment hit a nerve. There's teasing and then there's just being disrespectful. And her dad crossed that line twice. It's one thing to joke, but when your partner doesn't defend you, that silence says a lot. If she wanted someone who'd just laugh it off, maybe she should date her dad's sense of humor. Speaking of family drama, ever hosted a lunch that turned into a guilt trip? Because this next sister-in-law did not come to play nice.
Am I overreacting? My sister-in-law flipped out because I didn't re-serve food for her kid. Last weekend, during a casual family lunch at my place, I had invited my in-laws over. Nothing fancy, just homemade pasta, garlic bread, and salad. Everyone was serving themselves buffet style from the kitchen counter. And I'd made sure everything was kid-friendly too, since my sister-in-law, let's call her Marie, was bringing her 7-year-old son. When they arrived, we said our hellos, and everyone headed over to grab their plates. I helped my toddler first, then started serving myself while chatting with my mother-in-law. Marie was on her phone,
her son just standing near her, looking kind of lost, but I figured she'd help him once she noticed. About 10 minutes later, everyone's at the table eating, and her kid is still wandering around without a plate. I quietly asked Marie if he needed help, and she snapped that I should have served him like everyone else. I told her I assumed she'd want to fix his plate since I didn't know what he liked or how much he'd eat. She rolled her eyes, got up in a huff, and loudly said something like, "I guess it's too much to expect some basic help." It made everything super awkward. I felt bad, but also kind of irritated. It wasn't like I ignored her kid. I genuinely thought she had it covered. I also don't feel great about being scolded like that in front of everyone when I was just trying to host and feed a group of 8. Later, my husband told me Marie texted him saying I was cold and made her feel unwelcome. He said not to take it personally. I like Marie, but I don't think I was being rude or neglectful. So am I overreacting for feeling annoyed and a bit hurt?
I swear, some people wake up and choose drama. It's a family lunch, not a 5-star restaurant. You're perfectly capable of making your kid a plate. And the way she called you out in front of everyone, that's not expecting help. That's demanding attention. You weren't cold. She was just salty her free waitress didn't show up. But hey, not every overreaction ends with slammed doors and family tension. Sometimes it's something small and surprisingly sweet.
Am I overreacting? Husband got me edible arrangements, then ate it all. My husband and I had a baby 5 months ago, and I have been having a bit of a hard time lately. The last few days have been especially rough. Yesterday, my husband thought it would be a nice idea to send me an edible arrangement with chocolate-covered fruit and fruit shaped like flowers. I was surprised by it and was so happy he thought to do something nice for me, which doesn't happen all that often. Last night, I ate a few of the chocolate fruit pieces and shared some with my husband because it was really tasty. I put the rest away to eat within the next few days. I woke up this morning to find the edible arrangement container empty. He took the rest of it to work. I called him out on it, and he said he wasn't sure I was going to eat the rest of it. This gesture just ended up making me feel sad and made me cry. Am I overreacting? It's just fruit. After work, he went and bought all the stuff to make me a big container of chocolate-covered strawberries and apples. Honestly, the ones he made ended up being way better than the edible arrangements ones. He apologized and said they were all for me.
Okay, this one started off frustrating but ended on the sweetest note. Literally. He ate her gift. Big mistake, but then made it right, and that counts for something. Sometimes it's not about the fruit, it's about whether they care enough to make things right after they screw up. And at least he learned. Edible arrangements are not community property. So tell me, which one of these people actually overreacted and which ones were just fed up? Drop your take in the comments. I'm curious which side you'd be on. That's the end of today's r/AmIOverreacting, because sometimes the line between reasonable and too much is blurry. If this one got you thinking, give it a thumbs up. Drop your take in the comments. Was it an overreaction or totally justified? And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that button, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next one, where emotions run high and patience runs out. Bye!